Without a doubt, us as human beings struggle to think in terms of probabilities, just because we have a very much hardwired survival instinct within us that's very much fear-based, and whenever we get challenged, we have a fear response, we have a survival response. So to start thinking like a professional trader, it takes work. It takes consistent work, it takes an understanding of your psychology, it takes an understanding of anthropology, it takes an understanding of a lot of different things, and I try and communicate some of that in my YouTube. I communicate a lot of that in my 12-week challenge, but we really have to start rewiring our brain and reprogramming our brain to start thinking like a professional trader, start thinking in probabilities, as opposed to being and reacting in this survival response. Now, will we ever completely get rid of the survival response? No. Do we want to? Absolutely not. It keeps us alive. But there are ways we can manage it, mitigate it, keep it quiet when we want to, like when we want to trade successfully, which becomes very useful. And I want to share some ideas in this particular video on how you can do that. Now, if it's the first time checking to the channel, first and foremost, welcome. My name is Pat Bailouni, and I work with traders all around the world, helping them overcome their psychological mindset challenges and helping them accomplish funding goals. Now, if you haven't already got a copy of the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, jump in the description below and grab that. It's going to be immensely useful to your trading, to make better, more profitable decisions, and also mitigate some emotional volatilities. Also have the 12-week challenge in there. Be sure to check that out. We're getting amazing results with that. Now, there's a great story that sort of encapsulates my message for today. And the story goes that this Dow farmer had a horse that would help him with his farming, but that horse ran away one day. And all the people in the village came to that individual, that Dow farmer, and said, what a terrible day this is. You know, how are you going to do your farming? That's a very expensive horse. And all the Dow farmer said was, maybe. Anyway, a few days later, that horse returned with a full pack of other horses, wild horses, and all the village people ran to that Dow farmer and said, you're the richest person in the village now, look how many horses you have. And all the Dow farmer said was, maybe. Anyway, next week, the son of the Dow farmer was riding the wild horse, and the horse threw him off its back, and the son fell over and broke his leg. And all the village people came to the Dow farmer and said, oh my God, what a terrible thing, your only son, he's injured. And all the Dow farmer said was, maybe. And a week later, as the story goes, the emperor rode into the village to conscript all the young men to go to war, but the Dow farmer's only son couldn't go because of his broken leg. And all the village people again ran into the Dow farmer and said, what a lucky man you are. And all the Dow farmer said was, maybe. And I think this story really encapsulates the need or the importance of being balanced on the outcome, because nobody truly knows the consequence of each individual event. Sometimes we can take them in isolation. We can say, oh, this is good, this is bad, but nobody really knows the consequences, the positive and negative consequences of an individual event. And the Dow farmer knew that he didn't want to get attached to particular outcomes because that wasn't necessarily wise. There could be benefits to what people labeled negative, and there could be drawbacks to what people labeled good. And he chose to take the middle path, not getting elated, not getting depressed when things didn't go his way. And I really think that this is the key to a probability-based successful trader's mindset. I've done a lot of work now on myself as a trader and also on a lot of my clients. And I teach them a principle on being unattached to the individual outcome of a position and being balanced and learning to see the positives in what we call a bad event until that loss, which people label a bad thing, is neither good nor bad. It's just a neutral outcome. And what traders get elated by when they win, learning to see the drawbacks in that, not until it's a bad thing, but just to keep it balanced, to keep it neutral. And what this does is you start to transcend the judgments on the individual outcome of a position, which allows you to just go back to your trading plan and execute on that. Because if you get elated when you win, you're going to start projecting low quality setups into the market. You're going to get humbled, right? You get elated, you think you know it, you stop being teachable, you stop doing the things that got you there in the first place, you think you know better than the market, and you take so many terrible trades after that and you go into drawdown. Or you take a loss and that beats you down, you go into shame, and now you perceive yourself below the market, and when the market presents an opportunity, you're too afraid to act. So it's seeing losing as bad and winning as good that perpetuates fear and greed in the market and takes you away from your trading plan. So I think everybody can learn something from the Tao Farmer on being unreactive to winning and losing and being neutral on it. And not just saying, oh, I don't care, but truly going in there and doing the exercises I teach in detail on the 12-week challenge, especially week 5, finding the benefits to losing, finding the drawbacks to winning, and really ingraining that in your mind and rewiring your brain. If you do it the way I teach you on the 12-week challenge, you'll start to rewire your brain, and you won't see losing as necessarily bad. You won't see winning as necessarily good. You'll see the outcomes as more balanced. And this takes you away from that amygdala-driven emotional response after you win and lose. So you can just get back to your trading plan and you can continue to trade successfully, and you can execute on an edge, which is ultimately what's going to lead to consistent profitability in the long run. So check out the links below, the Bulletproof Your Mindset tool, the 12-week challenge. Take a leaf out of the book of the Tao Farmer. Realize that nobody truly knows the consequence of wins and losses in the market. And it's important to stay neutral in the outcome so we can transcend this fear-based survival response us humans have wired in us. And we can start to quiet that down after we win and lose. And we can start to activate the more advanced parts of our brains, which we do have as well. And we can start making more process-based decisions according to our trading plan, and ultimately start to build consistent profitability as traders.